Hello everybody. Now I've got good news and bad news. Now the bad news is Donald Trump's national security strategy, which was released Thursday night after market close. It really is breathtaking, completely breathtaking. Now let's get the good news. The good news is it means that the stock market is going up for quite a long time. And I'll get to that in a minute, why that is the case. Now, with a bit of luck, and actually I really doubt what I'm about to say, but with a bit of luck, this is just a Trump long-term strategy of the week. And this is not what's going to happen. This is not what's going to be executed. It's going to be as followed through as Elon Musk's tenure at the Doge. But I don't actually think Trump is like that. I do not think that he isn't to be taken at his word. Now, if things go horribly wrong, then yes, he's quite capable of doing a 180. But have you not noticed that this document, well, maybe you haven't even heard of it. I mean, a lot of people haven't even heard of it. But it came out on Thursday and basically tore up the world order. And I reckon this is a policy that's going to be in train for quite some time, at least while Trump is president. And even then, will the Democrats carry on with it? Because remember, a lot of Trump's policies, when he left government, they kept on going. The Democrats said they were terrible, but they kept them. And they could keep this. It's basically, as I read it, and I've read it 3 times now, still can't believe it, is American isolationism. I think if you read that and you don't read it carefully and you don't focus on somebody telling this to your face, you could miss the point. You go, oh yeah, so what? Yeah. But it's really a declaration of a complete change in the world order. Now, it's all about the Monroe Doctrine, and it's been rejigged over the years, but that's the basis of it, which says America dominates the Western Hemisphere. Now, for a lot of people, particularly in Britain and in Europe for that matter, they think they're the West. So they'll be thinking that they're the Western Hemisphere. No. The Western Hemisphere is, you could throw Hawaii in, I think it's probably a good idea. Alaska to Greenwich Mean Time in England. So Kent doesn't get in the Western Hemisphere, so we'll be free of the American overlord if you're in Canterbury. But it even mentions Ireland in England as being Western Hemisphere, which is, I don't know, could be a pretty big mixed blessing. Explains things like Greenland. I don't know what Iceland are thinking, but anyway, I'll find out in February when I go there for an exhibition. Hey, how'd you like that, boys, in Reykjavik? Anyway, that aside, it's all about America retrenching to the Western Hemisphere, i.e. America, USA, Canada, Mexico, I wonder what they're thinking about it, and South America. And let's just put it this way, the Monroe Doctrine wasn't great news for South America, because it meant that there was nobody allowed in to invest, to have commercial relationships with places like Brazil and Argentina and Chile, apart from America. So America's pulling back to North and South America and letting everyone else get on with it. And this document says Europe sucks is finished. It says China's not the enemy, but then goes on to basically outline a unnamed enemy that is at every turn China. And it's basically saying, you lot, get on with it. We're not bothered anymore. Sort yourself out. So this is a declaration of a long-term strategy of American isolationism, where countries cannot rely on America to maintain the peace or maintain an environment where commerce and trade, etc., are easy to undergo. Because basically America's saying, unless you stand on our toes, we don't care what you do. And that goes for Russia, that goes for Europe, that goes for India, that goes for China, that goes for Japan, that goes for Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, everybody. It's like, goodbye. Just get on with it. We don't care anymore. Now, you could read this document different, but that's how I read it. We are sticking to the Western Hemisphere, which is not Germany and France. It stops in London. That's the Western Hemisphere's easterly border, not Ukraine, Greenwich Mean Time, and Alaska and Hawaii on the left side, and then north-south from Patagonia to the frozen north of Canada and Greenland. Yes, you wonder what that was about, Greenland. Well, now we know this was coming down the pike. Well, first off, I would say you must read this document and then read it again and then read it again and try to understand where they're coming from. I mean, who is... I want to know who this is coming from, and I think I've got a good idea, but they will remain nameless. And this is really an attempt to kind of merge Happy Days with the Fonz, the good old 1950s, and some kind of cowboy reality where everybody's free to, go out there and, wildcat. And, well, I mean, it's an interesting fantasy, but I don't see how you're ever going to get there. But what is going to happen, because they're setting the course, and you've seen that course being set before, is an American isolationism. And, there's a lot of capital out there that America's built up over generations, that this basically throws into the shredder. But it basically says we don't care. We don't care. We're going to get on with our stuff, and we're not going to have any of this immigration anymore. We're not going to have anybody mucking about in South America, or for that matter Canada, or just any messing about the Western Hemisphere. This is the new strategy, going back to one that was founded in the early part of the 1800s. So, well, it's just a OMG moment. Now, the good news is the only way to take this ahead is by economic growth, industrial growth, going hell for leather, running it hot, as they're saying, in the American economy. And now if you're in Europe, you're going to go, oops. Because basically, they throw NATO under the bus with this document. It's like, not so sure about NATO. So pretty much everybody has been thrown under the bus by this move of America disengaging from the job of Pax America, as before it was the Pax Britannica, and if you go back far enough, it's the Pax Romana. There is no Pax Americana anymore. So you're all on your own, guys. Well, that means a remilitarization of the world, which is terribly dangerous. It means a complete realignment of the world, which is really, really dangerous, because basically it's almost a tacit pact to say to the Chinese, you can have all that. Yeah, go on then. You want it, you have it. It's your problem now. You see if you can sort it out. Yeah, we're going to stick to our continent, and we'll see how that goes. So everybody's under the bus. Everything's in the mix. It's going to be a free-for-all all over the world outside of the Western Hemisphere. And it's probably going to end up a free-for-all in the Western Hemisphere. So it's a real smashing up of the old world order. At least that's what's in the document. If this is Donald Trump's long-term strategy of the week, it won't happen. It's simply, the words will go out there and the actions will remain the same. It's not bullish for American defense stocks, I've got to say, because no one's going to be buying their stuff anymore. So what is the good news? Well, the good news is the markets are going to go up and keep going up for quite a long time now. Because the only way that this is sustainable, the only way that the people behind this can be sustained, and the only way the American government is sustained, they're all on the same page here, is they've all got their power, their money, their pensions, they're all in the stock market, and maybe a little bit in the housing market as well. So all interested parties in North America, whether they believe in it or don't believe in it, have all got their money, all their wealth in the stock market. And if the stock market was to crash, the whole roof comes in. Absolutely, whole roof comes in if the stock market crashes, because that's where all the money's ended up. Well, I think it's a good bet to guess that they know that. So it's a pretty good bet that all hands will be on deck to stop the stock market from crashing. Because whether you agree with this long-term strategy, or whether it's a long-term strategy of the week, whether you're in government you don't agree with it because maybe you're the guys that are going to get laid off, you can't afford the stock market to crash. And the people behind this doctrine, in my book, are all people whose power relies utterly on the American government keeping the stock market high. All their power, all their ability to make this doctrine happen, and all the changes in politics happen, comes from the ludicrous prices on the American stock market. And if that was to correct, say we had a crash, 50% crash, they would be massively diminished. Their ability to pull off this sort of thing would crumble along with the stock market. So in a way, the old world, which created this really overvalued stock market in the US, is a reason for the pushback against it, because there are lots of people who made so much money in the stock market from that artificial support from the old style government, that they've taken it in their heads that they know better. So if things start to go a little bit awry, not only the people in government have all got all their money in the stock market, and all the people that are pushing these changes are basically children of the stock market, they won't let it go down. They can't let it go down. It's, would be a catastrophic event for everybody, even if they disagree with each other. So that's the good news. Now, I'm going to have to go away and read this strategy again. By the way, it's bullish for gold because it's absolutely, I don't know what you want to call it. I was going to say bullish for war, but that's not the wrong way of looking at it. It's not a stabilizer. It's inflationary. It's inflationary in Europe. It's inflationary in Japan. It's inflationary everywhere, because everybody's got to go hell for leather now, and hell for leather to be independent. The supply chains of the past are gone. Everyone has to be able to be self-supporting in their own sphere of influence. And there's now 6 sphere of influences, depending on how you want to count them, really. I mean, it's a fragmentation. It's not just a multipolar world with 2 poles. It's a multipolar world with N poles. I mean, let's go over them. Europe, Russia, India, China, probably Japan, possibly Australia and New Zealand. I mean, and of course America, and maybe anybody that wants to cut up rough in South America, because this is going to go down like a lead balloon in places like Brazil. Well, that fragmentation is going to make an unstable world, and volatility is going to end up in prices. So gold's going to do well, commodities is going to do well, and it's going to be absolutely, well, it's a new world. Now, as the Chinese would say, chaos equals opportunity. So again, once more, it falls to us to look after ourselves and our loved ones. And the best way to do that is to call the market right and pile up the money and give yourself that sovereignty that you might need going forward. Think about this. If you've got a long-term strategy that is so revolutionary, so dynamic changing, why would you write it out and publish it and show it to everybody? I mean, you've got to be very, very serious. You are putting the cat amongst the pigeons, and that in itself tells you something. But the funny thing is, it's not headline news, is it? I mean, it might be, but I mean, this is the biggest news in decades, effectively. And I think the lack of response to it says that people either don't believe it's coming or are stunned. And that means we've got time to work out how that's going to affect the markets, time to position ourselves. And with a bit of luck, it will all go well. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like. We live in interesting times for sure. And I hope you got the time to read the document. There'll be a link below to the White House document. It is absolutely must read content. See you soon. Bye now.